Hello, I'd like to talk to you about Thursday, which I forgot to check before I started this. I think it was was it the 22nd? No, 23rd Thursday. Yeah, 23rd, because Tuesday was the 21st. And there's a lot of speculation about something will happen, and to do with secret societies and the numbers, shall we say. So I'm going to give you a personal testimony because there was something that happened, and I can only give you my experience of yesterday. Now I think it's about 10 o'clock, or nearly 10 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. Yesterday I didn't get up till, I think it was about 10:30, so it's not even 24 hours old. And I was going to make this video last night, but I was just too tired, so I thought, no, I will hold this one over to today. And that sort of continues the theme of yesterday. Now, normally, everything just clicks in place like clockwork. And I use my imagination to create the day that I wish to see, and then follow it through, and I hold true to those thoughts I've created of how I wish the world to be around me. I didn't put out any intentions. I didn't do anything yesterday. I didn't have to. And it's not to say that everything went like clockwork. The timing of traffic lights and crossing roads just didn't go right at all. But what actually happened was it revealed this sort of magic of being in the moment, observing the blue sky, appreciating the sunshine, things that I would have totally missed had I not had these little moments. And this was going all day long, and absolutely no stress, a feeling of contentedness about the entire day. I was in no hurry, no particular reason for actually going out, apart from the body was saying it wanted to go outside and go for a walk. So be kind to the body. And this potential, you don't know who you're going to encounter, who you're going to interact with. That was another bizarre thing about yesterday. I didn't interact with anybody, didn't get involved in any conversations. It was like being an invisible observer. The only real interaction I had was giving some bread. There was about 30 pigeons in the shopping centre. So I shared lunch, which was soup and some offcuts of a French stick, which came from the food bank church, so it cost nothing. And I shared the bread with the pigeons, and that was a lovely moment. And just sat there and just with this contented feeling. So, what actually happened yesterday? There was a kind of distraction, you could say. And it's something that has been shown, and as it plays out every day on an individual level. So I can think straight away of the Wizard of Oz film. It was basically a replay in a very different stage setting. The external world, if you listen to the news and all the stories that are put about, can seem a terrifying thing like a Wizard of Oz. Now, in that particular scene where Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Lion, and the Scarecrow, and don't forget Toto, they've gone into Oz and they're now seeing this illusion in front of them. Interesting, there are 5. Now, Toto, the dog, represents one of your five senses. That's why there are five, would appear to be five characters. There's only actually one character, but it's expressed as the five senses in these five characters. So the intuition, the instinct, therefore the feeling is represented by Toto, the lapdog, because it's the gut feeling. That thing you should all listen to inside yourself when something is telling you something is not quite right. It's alerting you to something. Always listen to that, because there may be no other evidence, but that gut feeling won't let you down. That's the cornerstone that the builders rejected, because you can't put a physical building on that foundation, but you can put a biological rebuilding, a reformation of oneself on that cornerstone. Excuse me. So, Toto the lapdog, the instinct knows that there is something not right. It is an illusion that's being presented with the Wizard of Oz. And Toto reveals, pulls back the veil and reveals there's somebody operating these little dials and is a controller of this illusion called the Wizard of Oz. That is exactly how I see yesterday. There was a destruction, not a negative destruction, but a tearing away of a layer of the veil, all that seems to be in the outside world. Well, the seam has now been seen in the scene. Love the wordplay. And a bit of playing for the camera and for the audience here. And thank you for listening if you're still listening. Because I'm sharing this because I'm pretty certain that many of you will have also gone through similar experiences yesterday. And I hope that you didn't react and see the negative and the frustration that would come with that. Oh no, I can't get across the road, I'm stuck here, I'm being held up. That type of thinking from the conscious mind. But if you allow yourself to be in the moment and appreciate, it changes the dynamic. It changes, with your change in perception and change in feeling, it definitely has an interaction with the external. And I thought that was a beautiful moment, or series of beautiful moments as I went about my journey, I went about my walk. So it turned out to be something very magical, something very spectacular. And it's, well, AI or whatever, do carry on watching me. Do carry on if you think it's interesting, worth watching. Oh, that's another part while I think of it. On my return journey, I got stuck on this roundabout. There's a van that sort of is turning right, coming round the roundabout. Two guys, maybe in the 30s, 40s, seem to be in the building trade or similar. Open window, drive past slowly, and they call out the window, Gandalf. And it's like, oh, what a shame that you kept driving, because I really wanted to say, are you psychic, or was that just a lucky guess? Because I flip it round, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I supposed to be insulted? Am I supposed to get angry? Am I supposed to tell them to F off? Or am I supposed to just laugh? Am I supposed to say thank you? The ego part, the lower I ego, it says thank you. It's like, well, if that's what you see me as, then that's what I am. You know, I don't feel one way or the other about that. It's like, what can I say? So all I did, I just sort of gave a half smile, and if it makes you happy, if that's what you want to think. But I'm not really affected by it. But this, I feel, is the way to be neutral. Just let these things pass by. They're just moments. I mean, that last little bit I've told you, I mean, it's gone. It has no effects, no direct effects, only a positive residue from it, which I can, okay then, I'll go with that. But if you think about it, it's not actually very original, because pretty much every deity, every Babylonian this, every Anunnaki, every Greek, whatever, they've all got long hair and beards. So, and be any one of them. The world is a stage, so just play and enjoy. Because there is a magical, if you see through that first veil, it opens up a whole new magic. The feeling is very different. The interaction with it is very different. It's very beneficial. It's like this shift in energy, and it's like, well, this is 2 days after the spring equinox. If this is happening to you and you're having days like this with this feeling of contentedness and a completely different feeling in energy in yourself, and you're seeing the results being reflected back by the outside world, only 2 days after the spring equinox, well, how good can it get? I forget who, there's a channel that uses that saying, and it's very true. Julia on Simplicity Revealed mentioned it. Lana sent me a link to the actual video, but I didn't want to stop and make notes to refer to with this video. I just wanted to speak it from the experience of yesterday, and then show the analogy with that Wizard of Oz scene, because all these films, they've been given a setting, they've been given a history. Okay, the Wizard of Oz is just a film, but it's been around long enough that it has a history in its own right. So it sort of opens up the perception about, well, what really is history, apart from it as a series of stories which may be presented on the printed page in a book or papyrus or something, or it could be some other form of media, a different medium like the film or television. And if you think about it, when you see and enjoy these moments, they're like little time frames on a film. But that film has had a layer of the veil removed. What once seemed now penetrated and unravelled that seam to see behind that initial superficial level of presentation. And it has revealed a far more magical, a far more technicolor reality than would have been seen by myself a year ago, 2, 3, however many years ago. There is a definite change in energy, and I really hope that you have had similar experiences, or if you can try and adopt this contentedness, generate that feeling inside yourself. And notice I didn't do any manifestation for yesterday. I didn't do any pre-planning. I just let it be, and I feel confident enough to just go out in the world, just knowing and feeling, whoa, has the ringing in ears just suddenly changed? It's like something's reading my thoughts, or I'm interacting with something. That's interesting. What are we up to? 1422, so 222. It's just like what made me think to even look up there? It's like, I'm sure I would be given a numeric confirmation. To me, that's another proof of how interactive this reality is. So I hope that if you've not found this, that this will help you to find it for yourself, because I can only give you my personal perspective. I can only give you a testimony. But whether you see it, whether you experience it, and critically, whether you feel it, will really be down to you. No one will save you except you, is the saying. And that's very true, because which would you rather be? Would you rather be in that sort of anxious fear state, interacting with that external world, or would you rather have a contented feeling, with no real expectations, just letting come what comes, just in the same way that the clouds, just let them come, let them pass by, because behind those clouds is a beautiful blue sky. It's there even if we can't see it all the time, but it's definitely there. You know it to be an empirical fact. Regardless of what the sky actually is, the picture of it that you normally see will either be clouds or blue sky. When those clouds clear, there's a blue sky, or what we interpret as a blue sky. It doesn't matter if it's actually true. And how would you even describe the colour blue to another person? How do you know what another person's eyes really see? So even the shade of what we would, by consensus, call blue, it may even vary. That's with what would be classed as the accepted normal sight range. But then obviously you've got colourblind people and people who are blind to certain hues and things. So their perception may be slightly different, but it's still there, and yet how much of a fact actually is it? There's a presentation and an agreed consensus on it. Right, I think we've... I don't want this to be too long. I know I say that all the time. To paraphrase Ken Wheeler, I'll edit that out. I won't, because that's just going to be... leave it in. It's all genuine. It's all a bit of fun. And it's light-hearted observations of this reality. So I hope that comes across, and if nothing else, you can feed off the energy you may feel coming from this being that's being projected out, because that's the whole point of making this video. I'm sharing an experience in that I hope it will help you. That's the intention behind it. But I have no expectations. But let me know in the comments how your day went and how it felt to you. And as part of yesterday, because there may be issues with the Wi-Fi for myself next week, because I'm on the move, as it were. So Lana A LaBonte channel had a lovely discussion with her, talking about numbers. I mean, what are all these numbers? Why do we keep seeing repeat patterns? And Lana is authentic. She gives personal testimony, and no matter what I say, but listen to what Lana says. Lana A LaBonte channel. And if you're not feeling good about things, then just change your perception. Weigh it up inside yourself. Change the feelings inside yourself by what you communicate across from your conscious mind in feeling to your subconscious, which is the homemaker, the divine feminine. From that will create a chemical change in your body. So this is why you can be your own worst enemy. Whatever thoughts you put across will have a direct effect on your body. You'll turn yourself from alkaline to acidic, and that will lead to dis-ease, and you won't feel comfortable, you won't feel content. But you can overwrite that. You can weigh things up. If you're triggered by something, that's the time to have an inquisition internally. Know thyself. Ask yourself, why are you feeling triggered by what anybody says? They're only words after all, but clearly then words do have power. If you're offended, it's creating an overspill of one or other particular emotion. So there's a lot in words. There's far more to this reality than there would at first appear. But like a peer, you're peering out. and seeing what's coming towards you, but not reacting negatively to it. You're embracing it. Oh, look, we've gone on longer now. We've gone up to, was it 2012? There's something in that as well. Anyway, I'm going to say love to you all, and I hope that has helped some of you out there. But do let me know in the comments of your experience, because I'd love to read about it. I've got to do some replies to, I think, not the previous, the one before, just the way life goes. So love to you all, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. And to reiterate what Julia says on Simplicity Revealed, always focus on what you want, stay focused on what you want, and be benevolent, help others when you can. That's the only rules you really need. And of course, number 3, equally important, know when to have boundaries, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in your world. You won't go far wrong with that. Love to you all.